How to identify metals in vintage jewelry. Have you ever come across a piece of vintage jewelry and wondered what metal it is made of? Identifying the metal can be a fun and rewarding process, especially for collectors and enthusiasts. Knowing the metal composition can influence the value and authenticity of your jewelry. Let's get into some practical methods to help you identify metals in vintage jewelry. First, start with a visual inspection. Look closely at the jewelry for any visible marks or hallmarks. These small symbols or stamps can tell you a lot about the metal used. For example, 925 indicates sterling silver, while 10 degrees Kelvin, 14 degrees Kelvin, or 18 degrees Kelvin signifies different purities of gold. If you see plat or PT999, that means the piece is made of platinum. Next, consider the magnet test. This is a simple way to check if the metal is ferromagnetic, like iron or steel, or non-magnetic, like gold, silver, or platinum. If a magnet sticks to the jewelry, it suggests the presence of iron or steel. Another method is acid testing. This involves applying a small amount of acid to a discrete area of the jewelry. For silver, you would use nitric acid, while hydrochloric acid is used for gold. Keep in mind that this method can damage the piece, so use it cautiously. If you want a more advanced approach, consider using an Xray fluorescence spectrometer. This non-destructive method uses X-rays to identify the elemental composition of the metal. However, it requires specialized equipment and may not be accessible to everyone. Once you identify any hallmarks, do some research. Online databases and hallmark guides can help you determine the metal purity, the maker, and the origin of the piece. If you have a particularly rare or valuable item, consulting a professional appraiser can provide detailed information about its history and value. Understanding the metal composition is essential for several reasons. It helps verify the authenticity of the piece, determines its value, and guides you in choosing the right restoration techniques. This knowledge is also beneficial when dealing with vintage clothing and textiles. Knowing the materials and construction of accessories like jewelry can enhance your appreciation and preservation of collectibles. So, the next time you find a vintage jewelry piece, remember these methods. Identifying the metal can not only increase your knowledge but also enhance your collection. Happy hunting!